What's going on? Hey, this is OZZz, Fast Bros Radio. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Got a lot going on. If you have not done so, please like, share, follow Fast Bros Radio. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. I don't know, but can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Again, hey, this is OZZz on Fast Bros Radio. If you have not done so, please like, share, follow. You can find Fast Bros on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook as well as YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody about us. Fast Bros Radio is the only digital radio station in Jefferson County, Birmingham. We entertain, we showcase independent artists. That is our platform. We're here for independent artists. So if you are an independent artist, contact us. We have you on Smash Bros. As well as if you are a producer and or manager, please contact us. We'd like to have your artist on so that way we can introduce the world. As I said before, this is OZZz. You can find me on all social media. Find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, name that. Hey, we got a lot going on. If you have not done so, please make sure that you have your order today. My best order that I have is 1186. It's right here from Alabama. Please, also, if you're a coffee drinker, please make sure that you look up Alicia's Coffee, LLC, ALICIA, Coffee, LLC. Fantastic. Menards owned, also like to boast and brag that the owner, the operator, the whatever, one of my former students. Hope that you look her up. Alicia, ALICIA. It's like you can pronounce either Alicia, ALICIA, or the proper pronunciation is Alicia. Also, if you have any promotion, please contact us, Bros Radio. Send us the information. We'll be more than proud to announce. Also, promote your goods and services. We are a multi-task radio station. We provide, come up with some type of advertising for you. That's what we're here. Oh, we have a lot going on. Especially when it comes to the Ohio derailment. From what I understand, there were two other during the time. There were two other train derailments. One was in Houston, one was in South Carolina, and supposedly they were done simultaneously at the same time, same date. So that's me show you how easy it is to find information. What were the chemicals that were carried from on the train from the trail derailment in Ohio? See, as simple as that. See, this is teaching. There is no reason why we cannot be aware of what's going on because we know how to ask the question and find any answer. This is from Guardian.com. What do we know about the Ohio train derailment? Toxic chemical leak. At least 5 hazardous chemicals released in Palestine train crash as residents fear long-term effects. Train carrying hazardous materials heading to Pennsylvania, Illinois derailed in early February, causing a major fire and alarm over a possible imminent explosion. The situation has local people worried by reassured suspicion and has highlighted how vulnerable many Americans are to similar. Up to 2,000 residents living in the immediate area were evacuated and chemicals being carried by the train run by Norfolk Southern Corporation were released to prevent explosion. Evacuated residents returned home last week. The residents returned over lingering effects of chemicals in the air, water, and soil that as officials on the area had deemed it safe. Officials are still investigating the potential long-term environmental impact of the derailment. What happened? Night of February 13th, 50 out of 150 cars of the train heading one-way to Madison, Illinois derailed. The train derailed at East Palestine, Ohio, a town of about 5,000 residents along the Ohio and Pennsylvania border. Huge fire had spanned the length of the rail cars erupted. No injuries or deaths were reported. That was at that time. Residents in a 1-mile radius of the derailment evacuated as officials noted that there were over a dozen cars carrying vinyl chloride, a narcissistic chemical, were involved in the derailment that happened exposed to fire. February 6th was the Monday. Officials enacted a mandatory evacuation threat to arrest residents who refused to evacuate as still of an explosion approached. Governor Mike DeWine told residents leaving was a matter of life and death. Crews ended up releasing toxic chemicals in 5 rail cars to prevent an explosion. Small holes were made into the rail cars, whose chemicals were released into pits that were lit on fire. And pictures of the chemicals released showed clouds of black smoke billowing in the sky over homes. See, this is one good thing about having TikTok. You would find out a lot. You would find a lot when it comes to finding out about what happened, because this is not being reported on the major media outlets. And there's a possibility we would have never known about this derailment. Evacuated residents who were staying at shelters were given the clear to return to home on the 8th as officials deemed air and water samples safe for residents. The most concerning chemicals being carried by the derailed train was vinyl chloride, which is used to make polyvinyl chloride for the hard resin used in plastic products. Vinyl chloride is colorless and highly flammable. It has been linked to a rare form of liver cancer, as well as other types of cancer like leukemia and blood cancer. Short-term exposure effects include dizziness, drowsiness. High exposure leads to hospitalization and death. Another chemical on board was brutal acetylate, also used in production. So see, this is extremely important. It's stuff like this. This is one reason why it is important for the federal government to be involved. During Obama's administration, there was a bill that was passed that made it a requirement for trains to have a certain brake system. And then Trump comes up with his stupidity and with the Republican Party. And they get away with it. So see, there's a reason why it is a necessity for the government to have their hands for oversight on certain things. You cannot trust rich people. You cannot trust Republicans to do what they're supposed to do because they're not going to do. And then it brings to a point that those chemicals that were spilled, that were released from those tank cars, reached the Ohio River, which is a contributory, one of the major contributaries of the Mississippi River. And so it flowed into the Ohio River, which in turn flowed into the Mississippi River. Now, if you know your geography or remember your geography, you would know that the Mississippi River is one of the longest rivers. It starts in Minnesota and exits at the Gulf of Mexico. So not only is Illinois residents going to be affected by this, but you have residents, let me get the state, Illinois, Iowa, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So see, those cities, those states that border or with the Mississippi River flows, the borders flow through, those residents are going to be affected by the bill. And that's right. And then if you go to TikTok, where people have dropped stones and used sticks, and the chemicals are embedded in the soil. And you can see where the liquid is coming up and makes it look like an oily looking, rainbow type substance on the top. So this is not really going to affect everyone now. This is going to affect individuals 10, 15, 20 years. And that's right. Not only that, chemicals have already leaked, have already reached the mouth of Mississippi. And now they're flowing in the Gulf. So now you have the coastline of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, depending on the way that the current flows. Now, think about the seafood. Think about the seafood. Think about the marine, the fish that are going to be affected by the spill. And to add complications to that, you have an Ohio governor who looks like Peabody, who is sitting on his ass not doing anything because the CEO of the rail company is a donor. Now, they're saying that everything is fine when everything isn't fine. And initially, they were not telling the truth because it is not safe to return home. So now you're not allowed to return to your home because you are concerned about the safety of your family. But then it's coupled with where are you going to live? How can you all of a sudden move when you don't have the money? Or if you've lost your job. So now you have complicated the situation even more so because you have multiple homeless individuals who have no homes to return because of a concern of their safety. And if you remember that Jared Bakovich, this is similar but on a wider scale. So business is going to be affected. The economy is going to be affected. The environment is going to be affected. and nothing is being done about it. Which brings back the point that who is regulating these materials, and especially here in Alabama. We're not even we haven't even thought about the number of trains that go through Alabama, and we're not even aware of the materials that are being transported in these tanks, because this can happen in Alabama. And then on top of that, when the chemicals were put on fire, the chemicals that were released in the air, that was released in the environment, can spread, that it is going to affect even more so other individuals in other communities. Because the Trump administration did away with the regulations for these trains to have a certain type of brake system to prevent these type of incidents. See, sometimes being woke or being educated is a bad thing, because you have the capability to think for yourself. And when you can think for yourself, you are more aware of the lies, the misgivings that individuals feel. But then on the other hand, is it better to be uninformed, uneducated, so that it's too late to avoid what consequences? There's a two-way. Would you rather not be educated where you don't think and you're hit with the consequences? Or is it better to be educated, to think for yourself, to rationalize yourself, to know exactly what the consequences are going to be, so that way you can prepare yourself, if possible, for anything that you're. So for individuals to say that they don't believe that the government should be involved, well, then you need to sit yourself down, because that's not what you're doing. Because individuals at a certain social economic level do not care about the middle class nor the poor individual, as long as they're making money. And under Trump's administration, really most of the Republican presidents, the rich were given leeway. So the rich are not paying their fair share when it comes to taxes. And that's where the problem that we're having as a nation, because there is a certain group that are not paying their fair share when it comes to taxes. You cannot believe anything the Republican says. At this point, it is really frightening to think that a small minority of idiots that are Republicans have more power than the majority of the Republicans. And I think that if last time I counted, I think there were, 15 individuals that were in the Freedom Caucus, which are the idiots. And those 15 are ruling, have power over other Republicans. Now that says a lot for the Republican Party, among other things. So see, that is why it is necessary for the government, the federal government, to have some type of oversight when it comes to certain things, when it comes to regulations, when it comes to the airline, when it comes to trains, when it comes to corporations, when it comes to pharmaceuticals, when it comes to health care, when it comes to education, when it comes to taking care of the elderly, taking care of the next generation, when it takes care of the veterans. are not being seen or taken care of. Because, see, the next 4 years, nothing is going to be accomplished because you have a set of Republicans who are insurrectionists, who are traitors that head these communities. And they're trying to stall because they know that eventually they will be brought up on charges. Because if the federal government had these regulations on the screen when it came to racism, the possibility that this threat would never happen. And for a governor to have the president call him to ask what you need, and the governor never returned the president's call, that's right. And then for the Republican Party, for the committees to blame the Secretary of Transportation, it was not his fault. So see, that's where all the problems. See, in the bigger picture, you have to understand you have what? You have the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men and women over 50 that are scared because it's been stated that in a certain year that the white population is going to be a minority, and the minority are going to be the majority. And so you have these old white men running scared because they're concerned what is the minority going to do. But they don't seem to understand that when it comes to the minorities have a better heart of peace and compassion than what the white folks. So you have this travesty in Ohio that is going to affect millions of individuals in other states. That's going to affect everything about that state. And those governors in those states in which the Mississippi River travels a border should get in touch with the governor in Ohio and find out exactly what you're going to do. And then in turn, some lawsuits need to start hearing, letting this Norfolk individual know that you have messed up and we're coming for you. Because it's frightening that these chemicals are being transported from one state to the other. And there's really no regulation or oversight from the seeing exactly what they're doing. Now that's frightening. That is really frightening. That you have this person. Any of the people in Alabama who remember here in Birmingham, a while back, there was a train that was carrying waste, garbage from New York, that there was an agreement between the state of Alabama and the state of New York that they were to receive this garbage because supposedly New York didn't have enough of area to take care of the garbage. So there was an agreement between the two states that New York would send its garbage to Alabama, and Alabama would handle its garbage, handle its waste. But this town would not receive the waste, and so the waste was left on the track, and it caused this horrendous smell because of being garbage. But we haven't heard about the major, and so what happened to that garbage? Where's the garbage now? Which is really frightening to think about what other agreements do the states have between themselves that the constituents don't know anything about. And why are we in Alabama allowing garbage from New York to be brought to us? And can you imagine the states in which the train had to go through? Which really comes into mind. You talk about the infrastructure of a state now, which is really frightening. So you have all these questions that should be answered, but they're not going to be answered until you have concern that you should have when it comes to the health and welfare of your family, of your children, because your children are going to be affected the most. So if you have a 3-year-old, and in 15 years, that 3-year-old is going to be 18 years old, and they're still going to have to deal with what was spilled into the river, that was leaked into the soil, that was leaked into the water system. So we have to start being better informed. We have to be more proactive because we're living in a system now in which the government isn't fulfilling its obligation to its citizens. And Trump has been out of office, but yet he has so much power over these people. And without remorse, without any type of feeling, if you voted for a Republican, I have no respect for you because you are just as stupid and as much as an idiot as those individuals. And then what fascinates me the most is when a woman, when a veteran, or when a military votes for the Republican, or even when a middle class votes for Republican. The Republican Party has no interest when it comes to the veterans, when it comes to the elderly, when it comes to health, when it comes to education, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to medicine. They don't have any interest. They don't care. And it's really frightening that these individuals are still being voted back in because they don't represent me. The Republicans in Alabama does not represent me. The governor does not represent me. I think she needs to sit her ass back. And for her to have once been an educator and to be this delusional as she is, I think that she has a form of dementia. And I think that she should resign. And then that idiot that's the lieutenant governor, I think that we just messed up here in Alabama. And it's because the Democratic Party, and if you look at the bigger picture, the Democrats are not as well organized as what the Republicans are. And it has nothing to do with money, even though it would be nice to have the support and the donors that the Republican Party has. But see, we have failed to realize that if you start with the grassroots movement, and if you have campaigning all along, and you have your facts before you can be elected. And if the Democratic Party, the National Party, would get together and be as unified, then we would have more Democrats in office than what we do. Because this is the time those who are speculating or thinking about running for an office, this is the time that you need to start making yourself known. This is where you get your grassroots individual life. Now, see, if I were to run, which I never, if I were to run, I would get in touch with my former students and tell my former students, and then in hope that my former students would tell their family, would tell their friends, which in turn would tell their family and their friends, and start at the grassroots. That's what I would do. But I would start now. And I would make sure that I have all my information available to let individuals know, the voters know, that this is what's occurring now with people having fought. They're not doing anything. They're voting against your interests. They do not have your interest in mind. But it can be done. But you have to keep in mind that two parties are twins. But the lesser of the evil of the Democrats. Because while the Democrats were in power, they could have changed a lot of stuff. They could have put a limitation on the Supreme Court justice. They could have come up with some type of guidelines, some type of canon when it came, or regulation when it came to the Supreme Court justice. They could have placed a limitation on their tenure. They could have enforced the Social Security, the Medicare, the Medicaid. They could have done things more for the veterans. They could have changed the the way that we vote. We could have made it. They could have mandated that people could vote on Sunday, could vote on Saturday. They could have even made a federal holiday to where individuals would have a chance to go and vote and not be penalized by the employer. They could have done all of this. So, as usual, I would hope that because of this tragedy with the derailment would open eyes, but it hasn't. Because I think the media is not reporting on it. Local media is not reporting on it. We don't even know the impact that derailment will have here in Alabama, especially on the Gulf Coast. Those of us who like seafood, who enjoy our beaches, Alabama has best beaches, better than Florida. Better than Florida. Alabama beaches are better than Florida. So can you imagine what that spill is going to do to the businesses, the economy along the coast? Orange Beach, Dauphin Island. And this from a Republican governor in Ohio, KK should get off of her ass to contact the Ohio governor and find out what are you doing. The governors of Kentucky, of Tennessee, of Kansas, of Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Louisiana, Mississippi. I think all of them are Republicans. So you have a Republican governor that is going to affect the economy, infrastructure of your state. And it's frightening. 15 to 20 years plus, those states are going to have to handle this. But who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for the economy? Who's going to pay for the education, the health? Who's going to pay for these individuals having to leave their town that they were raised in? They were raising the children in, and going to have to relocate. And the federal government paid those individuals affected by Katrina. And this is similar to Katrina because it's going to affect the infrastructure. And see, that's what set Katrina apart from any other hurricane, because it affected everything about Louisiana. Everything in Louisiana was destroyed by Katrina. Katrina. And then for somebody to say that, but we always have a trained derailment. Yes, we do. But you cannot compare those derailments with what has occurred in Ohio, what has occurred in Houston, what has occurred in South Carolina. And I think there's another derailment that's come up. I think it was done in Minnesota. So you have Ohio, you have Houston, you have South Carolina, and you have New York. So you have 4 train derailments. Does that not make you scared and concerned about what the hell is going on? Does that not make you more concerned about what is your government doing to prepare you for the safety and the welfare of your children, of your family, of your business, of your job? Of all those individuals, they're going to have to move because I would be scared to go back. And for the governor to say that he would move back, he's lying. You cannot believe anything a Republican says, which comes into mind is Social Security. And you need to be woke. You need to be aware of exactly what is going on behind the doors when it comes to Social Security. Because first of all, they're trying to raise the age limit to 70. So those of you who are not close to retirement, but conservative, have about 20 plus years before retirement, if this is passed, you're going to have to be 70 years old if you still have the system that is set up now. And they're trying to change that. They call it an entitlement. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid are not entitlements. And Social Security has nothing to do with the national debt. During George W. Bush's administration, he borrowed $1.37 trillion for Social Security because he had to pay the tax deduction that he gave to the rich, as well as the Iraq War. He hasn't paid that money back, and there is a surplus. So Social Security is not going to go bankrupt. And you need to pay attention to that. We put our own money into Social Security. Yes, it does need to be rebalanced in the sense that the rich, that 1%, and corporations should pay their fair share. Because if you're rich, there's no reason for you to have Social Security. There's no reason for you to have Medicare. Because you can afford to go wherever you want. You need to pay your fair share. But as usual, it's a middle class that's going to be affected, that is being dragged down because we have to handle what the rich are doing, but also we have to take care of the poor. We cannot even take care of our children. And then to think about doing away with the education, the Department of Education, because they don't see where it's a necessity. They don't want the constituents, the citizens, to be educated. And that should wake you up. That should make some of you scared, make all of us scared. Because you don't have to go to college. So keep in mind, college was not intended for everybody. It never was intended for everybody. That's why you have trade school, vocation. You have cosmetology, you have brick masonry, you have all these, which make buku money, and you don't have any type of debt to pay. But for a party to say that you don't need to go to college, you want to go to college, that's right. But yet they're sending their children to college. That's why, again, I state, that's why it's necessary for the federal government to have regulations in place when it comes to education. wake up. I mean, it was easy for me to pull up what was happening with the chemicals. There's no reason for us not to be educated or aware or to have the accessibility when it comes to getting information. Because it's more accessible now than what it was back during my day. But y'all hide your head in the sand saying that this would happen. It's going to pass all right when you are not making what you should be making. And then if you are the less fortunate, you do not have WIC, you do not have Medicaid, you do not have welfare or social welfare or SSI. So what you're going to do? And then for some of you said that, well, my vote don't count. Okay, keep on not voting. You're going to find yourself broke, and the individual and the government's going to find themselves having more crime rates going up because people are going to start robbing and murdering more so folks. It's right. It's time for us to be proactive, be no more knowledge when it comes to those issues that affect our family, our livelihood. And we can't. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in, stopping in, playing, whatever. I appreciate you. It's Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself. Again, this is Smash Bros Radio. Like, follow, share on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Please like, follow, share. Also, make sure that if you are an independent artist, we are here for you. We have the platform for you. Also, we have an app. Please download the app. Then you can follow us everywhere. We appreciate you. I'm OZZz. You can find me on major social media. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Like, follow, share me, please. Y'all take care of yourself. Know your worth. Know your value. Know that you are loved. Know that you, whatever you want to do, most important, that
The live stream on the show. On the show. The live stream. On the show. The live stream. The live stream on the show.